very good evening to all of you. Today, we're excited for yet another webinar, the 19th webinar series, focusing on the topic that is dear to us. Let's talk paycheck to paycheck. Before we get deep into it, I want to remind you, our viewers and listeners, that this program is brought to you by Finance Leap, where we financially learn, be inspired, and perform. Just to bring you back to speed, in the last webinar, we focused on cash flow and emergency fund preparedness, where we host Dr. Maggie Chigozi. The memories are still fresh. And today we have an interesting gentleman who needs no introduction in the area of finance, auditing, and supporting entrepreneurs to make a difference in their businesses and in their lives. But because our audience is diverse, some are not in the field of finance, some are not in the field of auditing, and some are not entrepreneurs. We have the academia in the audience. We have professionals, engineers, doctors, lawyers in the audience. We have students. We have board members. That's why I have to appear like repeating myself to introduce our panelist tonight. Our panelist is Mr. Juko Emmanuel. Juko Emmanuel holds an MBA from Makerere University Business School. He is a chartered certified accountant. He is a certified public accountant and is a managing partner of Juko and Associates Certified Public Accountants. Mr. Juko is well known in the areas that touch businesses. He has also worked before, and therefore, when we are looking at somebody who can speak about, let's talk paycheck to paycheck, you could not get any other that is suited to do so, because he has done it while as an employee. He has done it while supervising fellow staff at his firm, and he has done it while connecting with the various organizations he has provided auditing, financial services, and advisory services. So, allow me to welcome him to the audience and request him to greet the audience, but also tell us, very briefly, what was your experience with your first paycheck? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for the kind introduction. I am Emmanuel Juko, as you've rightly said. My experience when I got my first salary. Now, I have done many things. I did not start up in the finance profession. I started out in the hospitality industry. And that was at a young age. If I remember well, I got my first salary, a paycheck, while I was working in one of the hotels. It's called Ivy's Hotel, and that was way back. I do not want to mention the dates because people might be shocked at how old I can be. If I remember well, I was young and did not have proper direction on what I wanted to do with the money. So one thing that I thought about was party. And that was a big need for me at that point. So I don't remember doing anything sensible out of my first paycheck. But successfully, after several engagements and several paychecks that came in, then I thought of maybe setting up a home for myself, going out of my father's house to rent somewhere where it was closer to where I worked. So my needs now started evolving from just enjoyment to now taking responsibility and using the money that I was earning to actually make a life for myself. That was about my first check.
Wonderful. It was about enjoying and enjoying. I think there are many people out there who actually experienced or have experienced that. But let's take it from there and move forward. There are many people out there who are employed, who are joining employment, who are thinking of joining employment. What does it mean? What does it look like to live a lifestyle of paycheck to paycheck?
Somehow I feel cheated when we have not given it a good definition. You know, being an accountant also, we want to define those hard terms. But I think it is very straightforward that you do not need to have a definition of what a paycheck is. And when we use an idiom of paycheck to paycheck, I think it resonates well still with our audience. That some people actually struggle, that at the end of the month, there's very little money. If I may use Vusi Tembekwayo's analogy, that there's little month at the end of the money. So you find that the money that should take you 30 days, if you're to look at it critically, you may not survive the first 15 days of that month. So chronically, people in employment are usually struggling. But we are only looking at people in employment. There are those that are also in business where they actually don't take a salary for themselves, so they don't receive a paycheck. But there is also money that goes out of the business. They need to live as human beings. So sometimes we need to be balanced when we're talking paycheck to also incorporate in those that are outside employment. Because people that are doing unregistered businesses in Uganda, those that are actually not even paying taxes could be more than those that are in employment. So we need to be accommodative of our brothers and sisters that are in that category. But what does it mean to live paycheck to paycheck? Where I come from, I do not come from, this is a posh neighborhood I've seen. You have supermarkets and everything. But where I come from, we have corner shops. So you would find that you need to be very good around the community, such that the shop attendant has a record of you, that you send people to go to the shop and pick things you will pay at the end of the month. So you find that you have more debts at the end of not the bank loan, but debt, small debts at different points that help you to actually catch up with your responsibilities in a community. So I do not want to dwell so much on the paycheck to paycheck, because we all understand the different challenges. I want us to look at how can we get out of that cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, constantly being in need. How can we handle ourselves better to get out of such circumstances? And one thing I would think of is, number one, when you're getting a job.
Maybe before we get there.
Please.
Before we get there of how to get out of it, how do we get there in that nature of paycheck to paycheck, so that it is now part of us and it is routine? How do we get in there to get entrenched?
Sometimes it is a choice. Sometimes you take on a job well knowing that you take on a job that you know your daily expenses. You know that, for example, someone starting out, a business is going to give you a salary of about 500,000. But you stay, the transport that you require to go to and from work is about, say, let me be very conservative to say about, say, 5,000 shillings. And if in a month, in a week, you need about 25,000, so in a month you're going to need 100,000 in transport. You're going to need to eat. You're going to need, so by the end of the month, when you sit down to reconcile your expenses against the income that you're getting, the 500, you find that you can barely keep your head out of the water. Some people actually are in deficit. So getting a job, at that point of getting a job, I think sometimes we take on any opportunity that comes, minus calculating whether we're able to cover our expenses for us to be able to do that job. I think that is where a problem starts from.
Okay.
But also there are those that get relatively better remuneration. And when, just like I told you where I started from, when I got that money, I did not need much in transport expenses. I wasn't even paying rent, but I prioritized having party, happiness. That was at a good age. But if someone is not very careful and you get addicted to party, which is I can't say it is not happening lately, that the younger generation is more in tune with having fun than living within their means. But I think that is where we need to get a balance.
Attention to.
Get money, but also know how much you are able to spend to cover your basic needs for you to be able to do that job. I think that is where
the problem is.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Our viewers, those who have just joined in, we are talking paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. And with us is Mr. Juko Emmanuel, a managing partner, Juko and Associates Certified Public Accountants, and is here to navigate us through this topic that most of us are in or are about to get into, and therefore we need to shape this direction. Now, Mr. Juko.
Yes.
The issues around the cost of living, the issues around stagnant pay, the issues around loans, how are they shaping into the concept of living paycheck to paycheck?
Paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
I also want to say at this point that there's what I call a life cycle. Those are in employment. It is not one age bracket. You find that people at 20 have different needs from people that are at 50. Our retirement age is about 60, 65. You find that our needs are different. So what keeps people in unemployment where the pay is low and you're stagnant, probably comes should be at the point of beginning in employment. But as you get more experience, you get more qualifications doing your job, I want to assume that you're also getting better remuneration. And if you are a diligent employee, servant, you're going to get people that are going to give you better pay. So one of those factors needs to be considered. But also, as you're getting responsibilities, sometimes you use the money that you have to actually cater for these responsibilities. For example, as you're getting into employment, about 20 to 25, you probably see staying alone. So cooking for yourself at home might be expensive. Yet going out to eat and surviving somehow on Chikomando or any other simple meals could be a reasonable thing. But as you grow older, you probably get responsibilities and you have a family. And it's I've seen a movie called Cheaper by the Dozen. So when you have a bigger family to feed, you find that money that would be enough for you can actually feed the whole family. But also as you're getting responsibilities, I don't know, people have different preferences, but it is good to have a companion, a spouse that is working somewhere, and you're also working somewhere, and you're able to come up with resources and plan as a family so that you're not only feeding on one basket, that you contribute something, your partner contributes something, and then you're able to pull resources together to get yourself out of Actually, then that brings me to a point of budgeting as a family. Some of us do not know how much money do we need as a family daily. So am I earning enough daily? It could be a monthly salary that you're getting, but you should be able to compute it down to a daily to see whether your daily income could be monthly, but if you bring it down to the daily expenses, whether you're able to sail through.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Building into that, in 2019, we had one of the scenarios that led to closing and stopping going to work for months, the COVID-19. Now that COVID-19 season, some that stopped going to work then, some have never gone back to work. Some went back but with their minds different because of what they went through. What do you think are the lessons from COVID-19 lockdown around paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, so that should it ever happen again, we are not ambushed like we were ambushed in 2019?
COVID time was an interesting period. Many businesses closed. So if you're expecting to continuously being paid, yet the business is going under, many concepts changed. Many things have since changed. For example, businesses of delivery, home delivery, have gained traction, which wasn't the case before. Now we have more of a generation that is a bit dynamic. There we used to be to wait for one paycheck, but now you want to think out of the box because the day has 24 hours. And in most places, you're working. I do not want to say that it is still 8 to 5, but let us say that people are still doing the 8 to 5 job. There is extra time in the 24 hours. How can you make sure that there is something you're doing that is income generating for you in that other extra time that you're given, such that you're not dependent on that one income? For example, do you know that 8 to 5, so 8, many people are leaving home to go to work, and 5, many people are coming back. At about this time, 8, children are also going to school. Is there a way you can think of selling something of value that is going to be useful in your community to sell the children, to sell the children? For example, they needed snacks. Are you able to do something around that to solve a solution for that community? People are coming from town to from whatever they've been doing. When you come back, do you just go home to watch TV, or there is something you can do to tap from people that are actually coming to work, so that you are not reliant on only one source of income? I think our thinking around a paycheck has also expanded thanks to COVID-19. As bad as it was, it also comes with positive attributes.
I seem to hear that if COVID-19 or something related to that happened again, our perspective around alternative sources of income beyond salary, beyond one single source of income, paycheck, has changed. But is that what audience feels? Is that what we really feel in the audience? We'll get to that in a moment. But we continue to welcome those who have just joined in. We are focusing on Let's Stop Paycheck to Paycheck. And with us is Mr. Juko Emmanuel, a managing partner of Juko and the company Juko and Associates, certified public accountants. Mr. Juko.
Yes, please.
Out there, people are wondering, there is a small population that actually earns salary. Most of the people are in businesses and are surviving from businesses. When we talk of a paycheck to paycheck, what kind of figures are we looking at in terms of influencing our economy, say in Uganda, that is actually focused on paycheck to paycheck, so that maybe those who are working and surviving on paycheck to paycheck can start to see, hey, that actually the numbers are different. out there, and therefore we can also participate outside there.
Interesting. Those that are in business sometimes are desperate to go get a salary somewhere, hoping that grass is greener on the other side, which may not be exactly true. And those that are in employment are probably also thinking, probably those in business are going to make unique. So we need to be plan content wherever we are at. To also know what my enterprise is putting out there. Do I have enough custom? Am I selling enough? Do I have healthy profit margins that can keep me in business? So that you're able to cover the expenses of the building, so that you can restock whatever you're selling. Some people sell services, some people sell goods. So if you're selling a good, are you able to get enough profit so that you're able to maintain your personal expenses, that you're able to feed off that and take care of your other responsibilities? But at the end of the month, are you also able to now pay yourself? That is also a challenge in many businesses, that we are in business, but we are volunteering our time. As long as you eat, you do not think that you also deserve. So when you're hit with, say, a health emergency, then you are exposed. You do not know how to go about it. You find that because of our, can I call it poor planning? You find that we are always, loans are always in our necks. And there is, if anything happens, you find people that are in business are crying government at Yambe because they did not plan properly to also save something that in case of rainy days, how am I able to navigate through? Those that are in employment, where I started from, we talked about computing. How much do I need to earn to be able to cover my expenses? Now, there are different ways of thinking about earning. You might want to increase your earning or even cut your expenses so that you have a healthy, a good balance, that you are not living paycheck to paycheck. How do you go about that? Number one, limit on the number of eating outs. We have KFC, we have Java's mushrooming all over, but know your position. Know whether, do a self-introspection. Are you able to live up to this lifestyle that probably you would have wanted, but you are limited in a way? And be content. Know that you're not able to do this because of your circumstances. And don't envy those that are living that lifestyle, because we are different. We are given different templates in life. So be happy with where you are and what you have, and try to see how can you improve your earnings and reduce your expenses. Now, your expenses, do you know that there are international schools out there? There's a village school, there's also an international school. And some of us struggle to make sure that we are seen to be living a life of high flyers. But I want to tell you that sometimes those international schools or schools that we aspire to take our children to, sometimes they follow a similar curriculum as the village school. So you would find that the child would get the same quality of education that they would get in an international school or in a school that you think is high up there. Try to think of what do you need to do to control your expenses. I'm just talking about education. But where I come from, I am blessed to have somewhere I can have a backyard garden.
Okay.
So there are things that I don't buy. There are simple vegetables that I use on a daily basis that I do not need to go to a market and buy because they're home. Otherwise, I would be spending money to go and acquire these things. But because they are home, I am actually saving on this money. The only thing I buy is probably seedlings. When the rainy seasons are here, throw them around and I get the vegetables. things like Sukuma Wiki, they're quite expensive and costly, but I have them at home. So I am able to reduce my expenses by having those things that can readily grow at home. If you have space, I've seen people doing planting in pots, cutting all sorts of things like worn out jerry cans. They make a garden out of that and they put vegetables in that. And it's a beautiful thing. At the end, they actually are reducing their expenses. So you can either increase your earnings or reduce your expense to be able to live comfortably in today's Uganda.
Okay, some people there will see us as mean when they say start economizing on Sukuma Wiki, economizing on... But I want to tell you that John Hope Bryan said that there are two ways to earn money. Number one is make more. Number two is to spend less. That the money that you don't spend when you choose to save is actually new income to you. But I want to modify his view and say that you can do both at the same time.
True.
You can work on earning more through some side hustles, but also you can spend less and be able then to survive. Now, Mr. Juku, this perspective of paycheck to paycheck affects us differently.
Sure.
There are those people who have just joined their employment. There are those people who are about to leave employment in their 40s, in their 50s. There are those who are left employment and in retirement. How would you look at those three persons and give them guidance in view of paycheck to paycheck planning and forecasting their lives?
Thank you. Those that are joining employment, their needs are different, and their earnings potential are also different from those that have been there for quite a while. And I want to assume that by now, people are actually all working towards retirement. Even when you are joining employment, you know that you did not join at 0 years. You joined at 18, so you are actually still growing. So you need to start thinking about retirement, although that is a hard paper to sell to a person that is young and youthful. Some of us wake up to think about employment when we are
To retirement.
when retirement is actually in sight. That is when we want to move fast to do that. But I want to talk about what do you do when you're starting when you have just joined. We now need to think of a saving culture. That not everything that you earn should be consumed. But also, when you save, some of us want to imagine that when you save some money, you're saving for a bad time to come. We actually need to change that mindset. Not to save for rainy days, but to save such that we can make our future better. How would you invest the money that you have saved? When you're just joining, it is healthy to look for, can I acquire land? Now that looks like a big thing, but it is actually a good aspiration to have when you are joining employment. That within this period of time, I want to have acquired land. But challenge with the younger generation, not that I'm very, very old, I am also still in the younger generation category, but we are prioritizing the wrong things sometimes. We want to get there very fast. So someone joins employment and one thing they want to think about is a car loan. So you are already locking yourself in a very long-term struggle. That by the time you're done with the car loan, then your resources, you have actually given away some of your resources to people that are just over an asset that you actually don't need. But if you think of, say, acquiring an asset such as land, build accommodation for yourself. Now, when you build accommodation, instead of spending this money to a landlord, you're actually and you still have the asset.
Yes.
It may not look as a big investment, but there's a way you are now managing your expenses. That you have an asset that instead of spending this money, it is now still here. But as you're getting closer to retirement, now there are those people that want to invest still. You are getting in, whether at 25 or at 50, there's a new craze of investing in cryptocurrencies and all these other assets. Sometimes they may be working out there properly. And I'm not an authority on this to give advice. But sometimes you need to go very slow on people that promise you get rich quick schemes. That you invest 1 million today, and in 2 weeks you have 10 million. Some of these things are too good to be true, and they're exactly that. So sometimes, because of pressures that we have about getting out of that cycle of paycheck to paycheck, we make wrong decisions that still get us deeper in the valley of paycheck to paycheck. Yes.
Wonderful. What about that one who is about to retire? What should he be thinking about?
When you're about to retire, probably, this is my assumption, that you have made some savings. Did we say that you have, when you're joining, you should be aspiring to acquire some assets such as land? Land is one asset that does not depreciate in value. It actually appreciates in value. You have a house. Say you have multiple properties, land here, land there, and you're about to retire. When you started out, you could take on high-risk ventures, high-risk side hustles if you're in employment. That you have started a canteen somewhere, you don't know whether it will work. That could be high risk. There are many aspects involved in making a business work. In case it works, then the returns could be higher. Some people choose at that point to say, employment is aside, let me focus on what was my side hustle. But in case it works, hopefully it does not degrade your lifestyle, but you keep on. If you're about to retire and you're still in employment, there's no need to panic. If you have these assets, look for investments that are going to give you security over your money. Don't invest in things that you're not very certain about. For example, if you have assets such as property that you can sell off and invest your money in more stable, returns could be lower, but they are secure. For example, if you invest in government securities such as treasury bills, government bonds, or even unit trust, you know that at the end of this period, I will be getting this money back. So those are low risk ventures, but then the returns are secure and predictable. As you grow older and about to retire, or even in retirement, those are the cash flows that you need. Yet when you're just joining in, you are able to take on such risks and you'll be forgiven for those. But as you grow older and your energy is ebbing, please prioritize safety and to give you a peace of mind in your retirement.
Wonderful, wonderful. We are talking paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. And for those who have just joined in, the conversation is getting hotter. The conversation is getting clearer in terms of the direction of paycheck to paycheck, in terms of influencing how can we be better in our various generational levels at the beginning, in the middle of our career, and towards retirement. What I have picked, which I want to repeat and emphasize from Mr. Juko, is that the higher the risk, the higher the return. And that at a young age, you need to take more risks because you still have room to correct the mistakes. As you grow older, safety becomes priority, particularly if your money is coming from paycheck to paycheck, because that paycheck will not easily rise up to cover that mistake at an old age. and you have little room to make amends should that venture collapse. Now, Mr. Joko, people out there are concerned, and there are policy interventions that we can lobby employers or government to revisit this aspect of pay, because some aspects reflect that it is low, some aspects reflect that it remains stagnant for long, some aspects reflect that even the pay itself cannot actually take anyone through the month. Are there policy interventions that can be taken as at the employer level, like you're an employer to the people you employ, at the government level, because it's the biggest employer? What kind of interventions can be brought in that perspective?
Well, thank you very much for that. A lot has been discussed about minimum pay. That was one area that you would want to think that interventions could be made. But that is not forthcoming, which is unfortunate, but it is also not very bad. You see, in a free market economy, the market actually pays you for what you're worth. The value of your services, if you're in employment, are going to be exactly what the market is able to pay you for. So you do not hope to give substandard services and be cushioned by the minimum wage. So sometimes it is upon you to improve yourself, to make sure that what you're giving to the market out there is what the market is looking for, and they are ready to pay for it. Otherwise, government may not do much to help you to make yourself better. It is a personal initiative for you to put your best foot forward and position yourself to be able to be a hot commodity in the market. For those that are in business, sometimes we need advisors or professional, people like you and me, to go down there and talk to them, help them understand costing of their businesses. Because sometimes you go to a business and you feel, yes, there is something that needs to be done to improve on the price. When that price is improved, when they're selling products at their right price, probably they're going to have healthy margins. Sometimes they are selling products and the margins are so minimal that when anything happens, the profits are eaten away and they will still be in a very awkward position. So it is not a government intervention that is needed. It is a personal initiative. Whether you're in business or in employment, you need to put your best foot forward and know what you're selling, improve it to be able to earn more from it.
I have picked one critical thing: create value, and that value will give you a better return or a better pay. Low value is low pay. Low value of product or service is low price. And therefore, we need to put our energy and effort to create value in whatever we do. It is what will attract some better pay. Dear viewers, please, it's time to give your comments in the chat room, and we'll be responding to them as they are brought to us in the chat room. Mr. Joko.
Yes, please.
The concept of paycheck to paycheck is something that largely affects many people who are working. Could it be that with, say, the intervention of financial education, there can be something that can fundamentally change around the thinking, particularly as people go into employment, so that we don't get into the experience of getting the first salary and we are excited. We get the second salary, it goes into stabilizing the excitement. We get into the fourth month, that's when we are beginning to know, oh, money is diverting. What is the role of financial education in shaping paycheck to paycheck lifestyle?
Financial education in the African setting, I don't know about other countries, let me confine myself to Uganda, is not something that we're very strong on. When you go to, I hear stories about Indians and the Asian countries especially, that they're very strong on financial literacy. From the time a child is in school, they actually have games. Have you played Monopoly? Or some of those games where people actually are learning about money while they're still young and just enjoying life. No money involved, but they're actually learning. Some of us get through university and we have not heard about anything financial literacy. So such platforms where we can communicate with the public, engage with the public, get to know their perspective of this. I like that you're also opening up a chat room so that we can talk, we can get to know, we can have their opinions about what we're talking about. Because ultimately, I want to confess that I'm not a master I'm not a custodian of knowledge, although I am professional and a master at this, but I'm not a custodian of knowledge. So information is out there. We need, as a nation, to actually be on a round table to talk about how to get ourselves better going forward. Us, but also the generations that are coming. When people understand the cost of what they do, how much they are earning from it, probably then it will be a better Uganda.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we are doing is a contribution to financial education, because we strongly believe as Finance Leap that we financially learn, be inspired, and perform. And continuous financial education is what actually can shape our financial lives in a positive direction. Mr. Juko.
Yes, please.
People out there that are listening to us, the academia, the students, the professionals, are looking forward to the tools, to the strategies that can help shape a better or enhanced lifestyle around the money that they earn. What are some of the tools, what are some of the strategies that people can adopt out there that are listening to us in terms of shaping and improving their financial lifestyle in view of what they are?
Thank you. The other day I was watching YouTube about Japanese lifestyles. One, there's the unfortunate bit of death by work. That the Japanese are very hardworking, that they would actually die, collapse and die on job. But then there is also the other aspect of, after they earn the money, they actually live below their means. They live mostly, they call it a minimalist. They live a minimalist lifestyle. You would not find someone wanting to buy to park how many cars in the compound, build a very big house, yet what they're only able to use is only a fraction of it. So sometimes determining how much of everything that we have and are able to be content with is actually very good in our journey of learning about financial contentment, financial literacy, financial independence. So learning and embracing how to live a simple life could be one of the strategies of managing our financial health.
Okay.
Secondly, improving and coming up with solutions that are able to earn us income around our community. Thinking about what is it that we can do around our community so that we can earn from it. That is also one way of looking at it.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Our channels are open for questions to come in. Questions, comments, because it's a conversation where we share ideas, share experiences, share real life examples around the topic. Let's talk paycheck to paycheck. But as the questions come in, Mr. Juko, it is famously said that expenses will continue to rise to match our incomes. For instance, if you have been earning $1 million and you get a promotion and earn 1.5, expenses quickly rise to match 1.5. And if it even gets increased or enhanced to 2 million, expenses quickly adjust to 2 million.
True.
I suspect it's one of the causes of a lifestyle that is around paycheck to paycheck with little or no money saved on the side. What do you say about that?
Interesting. There are actually people that earn way more than their counterparts, but are even in their need or in their position of paycheck to paycheck illnesses. So we need to embrace to know how much we need to spend to live within our means. And when you get a windfall, that does not guarantee that now you should triple your expenses. And for us men, sometimes we marry a second wife or we start looking around for younger girls. So sometimes getting more money could not be a problem, could not solve a problem. Sometimes it's our mindset that we need to know how much is enough for us. Even before you get it, you need to know that if I'm to eat food, I'm going to need 1 plate of food. Because I have gotten an increment of about $1 million, I should not increase on the amount of food I'm still going to need. One. So we need to know that now that I have gotten better income, I probably need to increase on my savings and think about how to increase the money that that God has actually blessed me with, that I should be able to multiply it even more to have healthy savings and investments around my incomes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Now that feeds into what Do Koyenkan said. Do Koyenkan said that when money realizes that it is in good hands, it wants to stay and multiply in those hands. As we receive questions from the audience or comments, I want to pause here and say, is the aspect of living paycheck to paycheck an aspect that we are not putting money in our hands, or there are some things beyond that?
Actually, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, it may not be as bad. First of all, thank God that there is a paycheck to talk about. Because there are people that are unfortunate that there's actually no paycheck in the first place. But also, when you get that paycheck, what you do with it is what is going to determine whether you are joyful and content with it or otherwise. Think about it this way, that there is someone who is looking for a job and they don't have this paycheck. And you have a paycheck and you're complaining about it. Some people are actually not happy in their jobs because they're only there for the money, for the paycheck. But be content with the paycheck and be able to work within it. Sometimes you are not in that place for eternity. Sometimes you're also there to get skills. So be able to learn and master everything that you can from that employment. Be happy with the paycheck, but also know that you're getting something more than the paycheck. You're getting the experience. So from this job that you have, you're able to go to another job and apply the knowledge and skills that you've accumulated from another setting. So a paycheck is only a fraction of what you're getting from employment. The other components are going to be able to help you earn even more, either in employment or should you choose to step outside into the world of entrepreneurship.
It's exciting that even when the paycheck is little, you at least are lucky to have one. There are those who are actually looking for it. I have had a retiree say that when I used to earn this income, I used to look at it as low. When I retired, I looked for half of it. I could not even get it. I looked for a quarter of it. I could not get it. That's when I started to value the paycheck I actually used to earn. So people out there, start to value what you earn, but you can make maneuvers around it to create alternative incomes, which sometimes are called passive incomes. Now, the other important aspect people out there are actually focused on is when you are in employment, it becomes hard to go in private sector. From your experience, because you have been employed, you are now in private sector, how can that be made simpler? Or how can you help the audience to go into private sector while still working and be able to survive there so that they can supplement their income? What are the tricks? What are the skill sets that they need beyond what they already have at employment that they can carry to multitask and have alternative incomes while still employed?
Yes, yes. That's an interesting concept. But you also need to be very balanced to think about the employer that has employed you to work for a specific period of time and do specific tasks. Sometimes it's not easy to serve two masters. You want to be in employment, but you also want to have your own enterprise. Sometimes it's good to choose. But as you do that, you can also start small by looking critically at the time that you have. And as we said earlier, a day has 24 hours. And of this time, you're only working for 8 hours. Say 8 hours. The other 16 hours, how are you going to use it? Is there something you can provide that is going to be valuable to community? Are you able to take on gigs? For example, in my farm, there are times I have clients and I need to actually work with people that I do not have on a permanent basis in my farm that are doing something in other aspects, but I know that person is good at IT. Probably they can come and help me fix this problem. For example, our cameraman here, I could need his services to do a similar shoot. And from that, he'll be earning something from it. Although he's not my permanent employee, but I can need him when need arises. So you should be able to be flexible and look out for, one, getting these skills that you know that people are now shooting videos. How can I work around this such that I can provide this solution to people that need it? Secondly, if you're in employment, you know, you could go to a place and someone actually in employment has asked management to be the one to have a fridge and they're selling soda or even come with juice in the morning. And that is actually extra income while doing their employer's service. You would find that they're going to get their paycheck at the end of the month, but they're also getting
Some income.
some income along the way. Number one, improve yourself. Improve yourself and keep in touch with community to know the things that community are looking out for and how you can. Don't make a mistake of jumping out once and what you want to now venture into. I've seen people who aspire to be farmers. They're in employment somewhere and they have made their savings and they want to leave employment, buy say 500 layers, start tending those. You know, they take about 6 months before they give you an egg. So someone gets stuck with and then they do not have an income. They're only depleting their savings. By the time the chicken are giving you eggs, if you're lucky to even hold on for the 6 months, if you've been in employment, earning something, waiting for 6 months when you're only spending may not come easy. So you need to balance and be able to know, can I have the chicken at home? For example, I'm just giving, this might not be universal. Not everyone is going to look after chicken. Just giving as an example. Can I have you? And in our culture, sometimes there are people that stay at home. So can you have those projects at home while you're doing something else at your workplace? For example, keeping chicken. And that is something that I personally have done.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
And it works. I don't need to stay at home because the chicken do not need me to be looking at them 24/7. Yet they are growing, and I'm also offering the service elsewhere.
Wonderful.
But also, while I was still in employment, and I do not know whether to, but let me say it anyway.
We are candid here. Feel free to share the experiences, to share the lessons.
Let me say it anyway.
Yes.
You know, you are helping out a client, and the client, you do amazing work for your boss, for this client, and this client says, young man, you have done this very well. Please come and also check for me my personal computer somewhere, or even at your workplace. Your boss has a side hustle somewhere, and they want you to take on the same skills that you apply here, to take them, to help them in their side hustle. And they're going to give you money for that. So you should be able to flexible, not at the expense of your employer. You do not want to build a business in your employer's business. For example, if I have an audit firm and audit clients are coming and you are taking on the audit clients, looking for a stamp elsewhere, it is going to be complicated for you and me. Then actually you are stealing from me, which is unethical. But you can do your own hustles ethically.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. 1 hour is normally very short. When the conversation is getting brighter and exciting, we are reminded by our team that we are coming almost to the close of the hour. I want to remind you that the next webinar, which is for December, is focused on financial tips for young adults. It will be on 17th of December, same time, same venue. Our viewers and listeners, I want to give a chance to Mr. Juko to give his parting shot for today, because time is not our friend.
Thank you. My parting shot is going to come from Lord Deming, William Denning, who says that it is not important, it is not enough to do your best. He says that you should know what you do and then do your best. So, dear viewers, dear listeners, it is important to always be on top of your game, to be able to know and demonstrate mastery in what we do, so that the market out there is yearning for your services, yearning for your products, such that you are able to give quality and be paid for that quality. With quality, you actually don't need to negotiate much about price or even haggle about it. People will be ready to pay you for what you're worth, because they need your services at the right price, at the right time. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. It has been an honor to be your host and moderator. Charles Warugahare is my name. Finance Leap is always here to share with you experiences, lessons all the time. And we're excited to have you, our dear audiences. Have a good evening.